Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Uneducation Station. Of course, I am here with my host, Arthur, also known as Anuki, also known as Anuki, also known as Asian Boy.
Okay. Hi, I'm Asian Boy. I'm here with the white boy.
What the white boy?
I'm here with the white boy. His name is Zachary.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about...
Now, Zach, first of all,
okay.
I need to speak about something. Okay? So I know I talked about how I don't like dating. I don't like dating the episodes and stuff. Okay, but I need to show you all this. Okay. So
I didn't even get to say what we were talking about.
listen, Zach. Recently, I showed this on stream the other night. I purchased the collection of Origaru, which is what is it? My teen romance isn't what I thought it would be. Snafu. Or I guess not snafu, but that'd be part 2. But you know what I mean. I purchased this from eBay. It was like 11 of the 13 or so volume, or no, I think there's more now. Of the 14 or so volumes. So for a good price, very good price. But it's in Chinese. I didn't pay attention, and I bought a whole collection of Origaru in Chinese. So Zach, I'm gonna learn Chinese tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so pissed, dude. I wanted to read this so bad. I was so pumped, and I bought it in Chinese. Okay, listen. So first of all, it's my fault. Even though the listing didn't say Chinese anywhere, it didn't say CN or anything like that. There was no Chinese. The pictures of the books obviously were on there, and they were obviously in Chinese. I just didn't think about it. Like, it was just so. I don't know how it went through my head. I would have noticed because I know the difference between Chinese and Japanese, at least for the most part. I would have immediately. It wasn't even the Japanese. It wasn't even English. I should have noticed. Wait, this isn't English. So I'm just stupid. I'm just so stupid. But here's the thing, okay? The seller, he had a note. I don't have it with me right now, but he brought a note. There was a note. Not a note. It was like the eBay receipt or whatever. And on the receipt, he wrote, "Thank you, smiley face." And I'm like,
You can't do my man dirty now.
I can't just return it, man. He was so nice. Look, these volumes are shrink wrapped.
Oh,
Whether he opened it, I don't know, but they're still shrink wrapped. So yeah, it's just I just have a casual book set, a collection in Chinese.
So hey, if you know how to read Chinese,
Hey, if you know how to read Chinese, let me know. I'll hook you up. But what I'm thinking of doing is maybe just like I don't know if this is a good idea, but hitting him up. Because in eBay, because I bought this on eBay, and on eBay, the buyer has the advantage no matter what, usually, or they have the advantage whether or not that goes with the seller or not. I don't know, but they usually have the advantage. So technically, if I really wanted to, I could just say, "Hey, man, I'm going to return this," and I would be able to. But I feel so bad. So I don't know. Maybe I'll like compensate him like $20 or $30 or even more. I don't know, just for the trouble. He's such a nice guy. I've never received something. I've received lots of things. Most of the figures here in this room are from eBay.
Oh.
From either used or from Chinese knockoffs. But I've never received something which is like, "Thank you." I'm like, oh.
Why you gotta be nice to me, damn it?
Nice, man. Now I can't fuck you over.
Fuck.
So now I'm probably gonna return it. I probably will, and then I'll see what I can do, like compensate him or talk with him or whatever. Because I know if I really wanted to, I can really just fuck him over. So for now, I'm just gonna leave it on the desk over here, and it's gonna be a prop.
Hell yeah. So anyways, back to the topic of the episode. So today we're going to be talking about No Game, No Life.
No Game, No Life.
And we're going to be talking about the show and the movie.
Yes.
Because both of them are absolute bangers.
Bangers indeed.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. So Zach, this is actually the third anime you watched, so we're skipping one because the second one you watched was Your Lie in April.
And that is
And that is a different beast. And we're gonna tackle that in another episode for the episode 5 special.
Yeah, 5 episode special.
Which will be
it's crazy.
So yeah, it has been crazy. We've done 5 so far. I mean, it's weird how we sprawled it out, but it's been 5 episodes so far. And I know most people might wait for a milestone, like subscriber milestones or maybe 100 videos or whatever. But I want to just, I just want to talk about Your Lie in April, man. So yeah, it's cool that it lines up at episode 5 at least.
Yeah, and the nice thing too is that it's one of those things where you and I have talked about it so much, but yet we could talk about it for so much longer.
Yeah, we talked about it in like the first and the second episode for like many portions, and we can still keep talking about it.
Yeah, and so I think it's going to be nice to just kind of have. It's probably going to end up being like an hour and a half, 2 hour long special.
Hey,
depending
we'll
on
see,
time.
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll try and keep it modest, but I mean, yes, that's right, folks. You're gonna get an hour or maybe even more of us talking about music again. Okay, I know we talk about music all the time. You talk about music. I don't care about music. I just care about the boom, boom, boom. That's all I care about. Listen, okay.
I just care about the 808s.
I care about the 808s. Hey, listen, okay. I care about them as much as you do, but listen, I care about them more actually. But listen, music. You can't just not talk about Your Lie in April with two music theory nerds not nerding out about music theory about it and stuff. So it's gonna be an episode like that, but I promise we'll not go into the nitty. Like I said, I wasn't going to, and then we started talking about theory and ones and twos and stuff. And I'm sorry, my bad. But it'll be more, even though we will talk about music theory, I think it'll be more of the actual discussion of the actual show rather than before it was just us nerding out about music. It will be that still, but it will be more show based. So it can be more digestible.
Dude, I'm so excited for that one. I'm excited for this episode too because it delves into a lot of storytelling boner stuff.
Oh yes, dude. This is this.
Oh man. Yeah, it's really cool because we both appreciate all three of the shows that we've been talking about the last.
Yeah. So
couple
first
episodes.
off, I'm gonna say about No Game No Life. So the anime itself is how do I explain it? It's about basically a world where games control everything. Games control agreements. It settles disputes between nations. Everything is handled by games. So, and there's this rule set, and then cheating, all that stuff. There's like these laws. So there's no violence. There's no robbery or anything of that. Everything is decided by games. Even robbing people is decided by games. Everything and whatever. When you have a game, you have a what's the word I'm looking for? Not a reward, but something you're willing to offer, and then on the other party,
a wager.
A wager, yeah.
Yeah.
Wagering something you have to offer, and then the other party has something of equal value. They wager it. Whoever wins, they take the wager, and that's how it goes. That's how things are settled. So you can get a house or literally anything, which is kind of interesting. Like you just like, hey, you know what? Fuck it, I'm just take this house. But so it's basically these two kids, or kids, but these two characters, Sora and Shiro, and they're just a bunch of nerds, the gaming nerds of supernatural level apparently, who have multiple monitors and computers and playing stuff with their both hands and feet and mouth because why not?
Because why not?
Because why not? And they get transported. They get this opportunity to transport into this fantasy magical world of games, and that's basically the premise of it. And it's I guess I could go a little deeper. So, of course, this is a show that most people have watched, but if we do go into spoilers, we'll mention it. But for the first part of this, we'll definitely stray away from it. We'll just speak generally. But the world that they join, like I said, is made. It's game settled. Oh, I lost my train of thought there. Hold on. Hold on. You want to hit me up?
What? Okay, so
My brain just fried there.
Okay, so basically, Sora and Shiro.
You don't have to say it at all if you don't want to.
Shiro
and Sora.
Sora and Shiro.
Sora and Shiro.
I'm trying to get better at pronouncing Japanese names. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, we appreciate it.
Okay, so basically, they get challenged in a game of chess by a.
This is how in depth we're going by the god of that world.
Here's
how I found out what I was getting at. So everybody's divided by nations, and the nations are like what?
Nothing. I was just about to go into something, and then you were just
okay, but what you're going into okay, let's just talk about the first episode and let's break it down. Let's do a play by play. I'm just gonna read the script. No,
I'll read the screenplay.
Let's read the screenplay. Here we go. Okay. No, but so what I wanted to finish was all the different people are divided by nations, by elves, beast people, deities, and stuff like that, and then humanity. And humanity, they don't have any magic fidelity. Neither do the beast people, but
humanity.
Yeah, humanity. Well, which is humanity, which is humans.
Yeah.
Humanity, which is your shirt. I heart humanity, which is the shirt I wore in episode 1, but Zach's wearing it today.
Because I steal all of Arthur's shit.
He steals my shirt. Like you're like the girlfriend, dude. Come on, man. And the humanity, or humanity as they call it in the anime, is the lowest of the bunch because they don't have that magical fidelity. And unlike the beast people, like they have like superhuman strength and whatever, so they at least have that much over of humanity. So basically, humanity. If I get mixed them up, I mean it's pretty easy to tell. Humanity is just what they call the nation. So the humanity, they are just like the bottom of the barrel kind of We don't have any. We always lose. We keep losing territory to games and stuff. Our king was like a gambler who just lost everything and stuff like that. And we'll get to more of that, I'm sure. But you know, they're the worst ones of the bunch. So Sora and Shiro, they come in and they try and flip that around because they are humans. They're part of humanity. So they try and fight for it and try to prove that humanity and humanity is strong and why they're strong and why they'll be able to rise up.
Yes. And one thing that you notice literally immediately in, I think it's either the first episode or the second episode, is that the world building that they do in this show is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, dude, this literally the beginning, the sequence where they're falling from the sky.
Yes.
Look, when they're falling from the sky, the god, like he's telling the rules and stuff, and just breaking down basically the premise of the entire world while they're falling from the sky. There's all these sort of pictures and diagrams and stuff. Everything's flashing. It's very fast, of course, but it's like it's all this information and craziness going through your head of this fantasy world, and it's super cool. And the production is so crazy. The artwork, the everything visual, and everything else, of course. But I'm just for now, I'm going to talk about the visuals. It's insane. I love the visual. I love the color palette they use and how they use a lot of reds and pinks. I mean, it's kind of like that red and pink really adds to that fantasy type of feel.
Yeah,
I mean, there's different ways to go about fantasy. Like you can have like a mystical fantasy with like green, right? You know, but this one has like this this fairy type of fantasy, and it's really cool because normally when you see like shows that you've watched already with line art, you know, which is our line art is being like the black lines that they use around it, right, to draw the characters, and then they color it, of course, but they use red instead. It is super cool. Yeah, I love that so much.
And the cool thing too is when they use like really really warm colors, it's almost like a comfort thing.
It is. It's like, very inviting and it's very very bright and vibrant.
Yes, exactly.
Vibrant can't even describe it. It's like you would took it into Photoshop and just put vibrant to 100%. It's such a very pretty.
It's very, very saturated.
Very, very saturated, but not oversaturated.
Yeah, exactly. And I love how much detail we're going into, like the way that the anime is drawn, and not even talking about how much of a storytelling fucking champion it is. Like I was saying in the very beginning, like Arthur and I have literally sat down and talked about just all of the really cool storytelling elements in this show for hours. Yeah. And this is basically the cliff notes of that.
Basically. Yeah. Like this is the presentation that we're giving to the class, except it's an hour long.
Yeah.
But no, we do talk about it a lot because it's funny because I think I've said it before so many times, but this is your third anime.
Right.
And I've never had a conversation like this with anybody I've had who's watched anime for years. I've never had such an in-depth talk about storytelling, about music, and about the production of an anime, and all this type of stuff, and the intricate little details, the finer details that nobody cares about. You've seen 3 animes, and I've had more to talk about to you than I have any one of my friends. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, I love y'all so much, and talking with anime is great with y'all. But Zach is my favorite person to talk with anime with because he gets me. He gets to me.
And the cool thing is that since we talk to each other literally all the time, we both kind of speak the same language.
We do,
and so that makes it really easy to be able to portray the way that I feel about certain things, and for you to actually understand what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I mean, if you ever get at a loss for words, I'll either pick it up or I know what you're talking about without even saying, because I know what you need. We both feel that. We both
exactly.
Like, this. That. You know.
Yeah, the next episode will be a very, very good example of that. Anyways,
hopefully we can translate that well in microphones.
Yeah, exactly. But the cool thing is when you go into a story that is in a fictional world, and the fictional world has rules that it abides by.
Yes.
That is my all-time favorite thing about No Game No Life, is that they establish the rules of the world, they establish kind of their own reality, and then they're able to take that and turn it into something that could possibly exist.
Yes, I say it all the time. Like, I love when fiction makes sense.
Yes.
I love when fiction has, like, obviously it's fiction. It's not real. It will never be real. I mean, who knows? In the last episode, we're like, maybe magic can just happen. Fuck it. But if magic were to happen, right? How would that work? There would be rules, right? There would be laws, and it wouldn't just be, oh, I can just spit fire out of my hands because fuck it, why not? I mean, freaking, like, Avatar, The Last Airbender and stuff. Like
Yeah.
they train for that. They don't just like spit fire because fuck it, dude. They train for that and they figure out like whatever it may be, like techniques and mindset patterns and whatever, just to be able to consciously flow, like say fire from their hands or their limbs or whatever they please. It makes sense, and there's a reason why it makes sense, and they have to learn it in order for that to make sense. So magic can't just be like, oh, it's just here. There's a reason why it makes sense. So when magic or when fiction makes sense and there's rules as to why it makes sense, that's why I love that so much. It's so great.
Yeah, and when you are able to understand how things work, and like, when you're first kind of presented into this world, it seems very chaotic. You don't know what's going on. You kind of feel the same type of anxiety that the characters are feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go from explaining a whole lot at one time to just slowing it down and letting them just kind of learn over the course of
that's
time.
part of the hitting the ground running type thing. It's
exactly.
They're just thrown in, and then literally in like 5 minutes, they're falling from a sky. The music is bumping. Everybody's yelling, and there's wind in your ears, and this is like going through all 10 rules. And then as you go by, at first, even for me, right, I was like, what? I don't remember these rules, I don't even remember if it was 10, but, however many rules it was. And they're just flying by and they're going super fast, and even for them it's going super fast too. So it's kind of like you image yourself in that, oh, this is going way too fast, there's no way I'm going to remember this. But then they write it down, they continue referencing it whenever it happens. That's the coolest part. I love that, how they're like, whenever they're discussing games or whatever, they reference the rules. The continuity. It's like, it's never broken. It's the laws of the world, and they remind you of it so that you can continue to feel engaged in it.
Right. Yeah, and that's definitely a very comforting feeling to know that, once you have established the way that the world works, nothing is just going to come out of nowhere and completely change everything.
Yeah.
Which, it could kind of become a little monotonous, but the way that this show is able to keep everything interesting, to keep you on your toes, to kind of try to figure out how are they going to be able to accomplish their goal, and how are they going to be able to, play all these games and, spoiler alert, become, the rulers of humanity. Mm-hmm. That's like the craziest thing is like, how are they going to get there, and then what are they going to do from there?
Yeah.
And that's just the coolest thing in the world. Mm-hmm. And okay,
what?
The first thing that just popped into my head was the last episode. It is just so funny.
Oh yeah.
The dating simulator.
Oh man, dude. Yeah, the last episode was so great. We'll talk about that in the spoil. I mean, we do spoiler alerted a little bit, but when we go to full spoiler alert, let's talk about that, because that shit was so great. But listen, I have a lot to say about it. It's so funny. But no, you're right. Like, it's kind of funny because we were just talking about Erased, where it's like this realistic, like, what would you do in the situation, and we got super emotion. But No Game No Life is the opposite.
Yeah,
they come in. I mean, they're freaked out, like they're this new world, but all of a sudden they got it. They're like, man, fuck this. But the thing is, though, that's the fun part. That's the fantastical, fictional part. They already have this ability to just be super freaking sick at games, no matter what it is, whether it be a shooter or whether it be chess. They're just freaking awesome at it, and they're a duo, and they help each other out. But then when one person flips, the other person keeps it up. That being shooter and Sora. It's really cool, and it's really funny because like literally as soon as they enter the world and they're freaking out, like the next scene is that they already won a game. They don't even show the game. They just want it because it's just so obvious. Yeah, we want it.
yeah. They were just like,
fuck it.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We're just better.
We're just better than you.
We're just better.
Yeah, it's really cool when you.
This is a different type of. Oh gosh, I don't know what's the proper term of it, but I know it's been called like power shonen. Shonen meaning like for boys, and for anime for boys, and the shonen, it could mean a lot of types of shows. It's a tagline, but usually what I consider shonen is like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, that type of stuff, like the mainstreamy type of like that type of shows. So this is technically a shonen, and this is what I call power shonen because They're just overpowered.
Yeah.
I love that though. I love that. See, it's also, I love my shows where there's like this training and dedication and all that type of stuff and getting better. But at the same time, when the main character is overpowered, it's so funny. And it's it's funny too. It's a great show. It's very comedy based, but it's just fun to watch. I don't know. I love it when they're just like overpowered as hell. But it's funny because even though they're overpowered, there's still a lot of things they have to overcome.
Right. Yeah. And they, especially in No Game No Life, they really explore more of like how other people are reacting to their actions, which is really, really cool to be able to get that outside perspective, because obviously you know, they're doing things that you wouldn't expect them to do.
No, not
like,
at all.
You know,
like that chess game.
Oh my gosh,
the first chess game was like, well, not the first, because the first one was like in the beginning of the story, but the actual like chess game to decide the king, you know, that was so cool, and just like how it worked, and like it wasn't just a normal chess game. The pieces had emotions and that stuff, so it was really funny just to see how it acted out, because you just didn't expect anything.
Yeah, and the way that they're able to throw those twists and turns at you is, you know, it's not very predictable, because you don't expect the chess pieces to just come to life and,
no, it's not,
you know, convert to the other side.
Well, that's what's cool about like fantasy, because to an extent, it's not very serious, you know.
Right.
It's not, and this is a comedy too, so it's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be just satirical and slapstick humor type of thing, and you know, it's that, but there are still elements of real life ruggedness, but at the same time, it's not meant to be that serious, you know. It's just a game. Why you have to be mad? You know,
it is only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So there's also that aspect to it, which makes you not look at it too analytically, although we do it anyways, but to not be too critical about it. Because it's not like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't think that chess piece, I don't know if that chess piece should have moved there. No, it's not that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I guess everybody loves a good underdog story.
They do.
And in this story, humanity is the underdog.
They are the underdog. And then they get this magical. They're not magical, actually.
They're just people.
They're just people. And it's really cool because the underdog story that they're portraying is that, you know, and their speech is so great. I love their speech when they have it. But it's basically about, like, the whole story is just about willpower, and that humanity, just because it doesn't have the magical fidelity or the abilities of all the other people or the physical capabilities of the beast people and stuff like that,
right?
They're still a powerful being, because there used to be tons of nations, and they all died off in the war that happened previously, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, of course. But there's a reason why they're still on the board, even if they're last place. They're still on the board for a reason, and it's because humanity is strong, and they have something that the other nations don't have, and it's willpower, strength, or strength in their weakness. That's what they say, right? The strength in their weakness,
right? The
bond that they have together, and the hope and the will to be stronger. That's what they contain that the others don't have, because they just think, oh, we're just the best or whatever, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that ends up pushing a very interesting idea. Like, you know, everybody roots for the underdog, but when you're put in a situation where humans are literally like bottom of the barrel, like they don't stand a chance against anybody, you know, it kind of turns into something really, really interesting, where they have to go through this battle in different ways, and they're able to like use a little bit more logic than brute strength, and I think that that's really cool.
I mean, how did we make it here? The Neanderthals and those people, like, you know, there's dinosaurs. They were living with dinosaurs. I mean, however much you want to believe in that type of stuff. I mean, I do, because, you know, science. I believe in science, believe it or not. Just offended like half, like a big culture, you know, whatever. Hey, listen.
Just don't take anything that we say too seriously.
I don't know, man. I read Charles Darwin's book. I don't know, man. Is his name Charles Darwin?
Yeah, Charles Darwin.
Charles Darwin. I don't know, man. I don't know about evolution. I feel like we just all warped here from aliens. Anyways, but don't take anything that we say too seriously.
No, don't.
No. That's
No,
bad.
no, no. We
no,
are
no.
not the news. We do not speak 100%
We do
truth.
not the news. We do not speak the We do not speak the seriousness.
Yes, we just here to have good time and talk about the animes.
But they did, right? I mean,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
were dinosaurs and just massive beings, literally tons and tons of weight and also heights difference and with all sorts of differences, and they can literally just get squashed if they wanted to or eaten. But how did we make it here? Even though we were just a bunch of like freaking monkeys, you know?
Right.
Because we developed technology. We figured out like just ways to overcome and way to outsmart, way to see the potential in ourselves. And I think that's a really good like motif of No Game No Life. It's potential.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the surface level skills that you have. It's about what the skills that you're able to have if you're able to awaken them and understand that you have the skills. Because a lot of people, you know, like, oh gosh, let's just say like for college or whatever, why people change majors so much, right? I mean, you
Right.
might have one thing that you think you're good at, but you might not be, and then you find something else that you're good at, and you might have never known that unless you did it.
Yeah, and when you really sit down and think about the potential of people, we are constantly changing and growing and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And like, you know, I'm sure that I'm an entirely different person now than I was when I was going into high school.
Oh yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, evolution aside, it's also just
Growth, personal
yes,
growth,
personal
yeah.
growth. Yes,
And to be able to kind of see that personal growth along with the growth of a community of people over the course of a show is just super cool. And I think No Game No Life did a really good job of that, and the movie did an especially good job
the
of that.
movie, dude.
The movie was so good. We can go into that in a little bit, but yeah, it's really refreshing to just kind of see a different spin on a very well-known underdog story.
I agree.
And that's, yeah, it's just super fun. It's just so good. I love it. I love it so much.
I love it too, dude. So one of the characters I love so much, and this is as I've described before, one of the top tier waifus of just all anime in general is Jiburu,
Yes.
which is the what is, I guess she's, what would you call it? I guess the god killing angel or whatever they called it or whatever. The god killers or whatever. I don't know. I forget what their terminology actually was. Or it was like figurero or something shit like that. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not pronouncing it. I'm sorry. Fake fan.
Fake
But
fan.
I know what it is though. I just can't say it. But I love that character and the game that they played on that episode when they met. So the way she's introduced is that, I mean, you should watch the anime if you have not already, but the way she's introduced is that she has custody of one of the libraries of humanity, and it's one of the biggest libraries.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sora and Shiro need that, right? For, you know, just knowledge and stuff, right?
Reason.
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
In my garage.
Here
Just
in my garage, I have
It
the
just
entire...
got this Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I forgot how that went. But they need they need to reobtain custody of that library, of course, because first of all, it's their library, the humanities library, so they play a game for it. And Jiburu's character, I'm gonna butcher it so much because Jiburu is a very hard thing to say with a Japanese intonation. I guess I'm gonna say it's Jibril. Oh, I just cringed just hearing Jibril. I just cringed saying that, Jiburu. But what happens is, you know, they want custody, and it's funny because they introduce her as like this crazy, like the way she's introduced is like descending and there's light and stuff, and it's like this crazy boss mode type thing, and her character is actually just super wonky and pervy and stuff, and it's super funny. I love it. That contrast is hilarious, but that's what makes her character, and that's why she's memorable. She's memorable, right?
Right.
But the game that they play, which is oh gosh, Shirotori, I think. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna look it up because I feel like I'm gonna piss some people off. Shirotori. Oh God, I don't know. I forget what the game is, but it's a word association game.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So that's the game that they play. I just want to talk about the games that they played in the anime. So we're gonna get, okay, this is spoiler warnings now at this point.
Spoiler.
At this point, we're gonna talk about, well, I mean, not too much yet. We'll talk about the games, but we will talk about the outcomes as well. So spoilers in that sense, but 9 out of 10 people, probably 99 out of 100 people watching this have seen No Game No Life, because No Game No Life is No Game No Life. So
except for the people who came from any of my social medias.
oh,
Probably.
true. Yeah, sorry. Hey, watch anime. I got this boy into it. So
Yeah, the 4 people that came here from any of my
hey,
socials.
that's 4 more people to watch a race, Zach. Anyways,
true.
so
That is true. Anyways, continue.
I'm pissed because I don't remember what the game is called. I think it's Shirotori, but it's not coming up. Shiro. Oh God. But anyways, yeah. So it's a word association game, which basically means like, you whatever word you use in Japanese, of course, you have to take the last character of that word, and then you use that last character in the first character of your next word. So it's like a leapfrog type of game where you just build off of each other. And so for example, if I said mikan, which is orange, oh shit, I guess starting with an N doesn't really work. Hold on, let me think of a better one. Oh god, mirai, which is future, I think, mirai. And then the last character for that would be E, I guess, or it would be E. So I would say, oh gosh. Oh god, I'm testing my Japanese right now. Oh shit, do I know a word? Oh, but you get what I mean. Let's just say itadakimasu. But it's not a noun, of course, so that wouldn't really make sense. So it's, I think they're supposed to be nouns or actual things in the real game, but I'm not sure because I've never played it, of course. But let's just say itadakimasu, which just means just like thank you for the food or whatever. So many people just cringed. I'm sorry, I just couldn't think of a Japanese word that started with eat. But you get what I mean. Like it ended with eat, or the mirai ended with eat, and then itadakimasu started with eat. So that's how it works, right? And so it builds off of it. So then that means the next word would have to end with su because itadakimasu. So that's how it would work. But the way it would work is because it's no game, no life. Because why not? Whatever word they say, it appears in reality.
Right. So it would have to be like a physical object.
Yeah. So if I said orange, an orange would pop up.
Right.
Right. And then if you said George, some dude named George would pop up. Now it wouldn't happen because it has to be a general thing. But you know what I mean, right? So it would just appear in space.
Gingivitis.
Oh shit! I was like, ah!
Oh no! There's plaque on my teeth.
But the thing is, though, right? You say that, but like the first word he does is hydrogen bomb.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He says when he's testing out the game, he with Jiburo, he says, or Sora says hydrogen bomb, and it pops up, and it's so funny because it's like it's like you would think it just starts off pretty ground level, pretty simple. No, hydrogen bomb. Just hydrogen bomb, just because why not? And it's so funny. So that's the game, and I love that stuff. I love how they just play normal games, but there's just twists to it that make it more exaggerated. And it's the whole sequence of it is just so brilliant.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And the sequence of events throughout each game, it seems like their goal is to subvert your expectations.
Oh, dude.
And so
the ending of that game, of the Shirotori game, dude, I need to find out the name because if I keep saying Shirotori and it's not Shirotori, I'm going to be pissed. Game. Shiritori. It's not Shirotori, it's Shiritori. I was so close. Shiritori. So an I, not an O. Shiritori. I think, wait. Shirotori, a game from Japan. Think of a word that starts with the last letter of your opponent's word. Win by picking longer words and answering as fast as you can. No distinction is made between hiragana, katakana, or kanji. Shiritori literally means taking the end or taking the rear.
Cool.
Which is funny because I think oshiri means butt.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, oshiri means butt. Don't ask me why I know this. There's a reason though, and y'all know. Don't know. But no, it's great. No, it's so cool. And yeah, the unexpected outcomes. Like the whole time after the hydrogen bomb stuff, like it's just a sequence of them just having a go.
Right.
Having a time as they might, They're saying random stuff like beach and beach. Bro, he said like nether regions.
Oh yeah.
So like they're just they're just the dicks and vaginas are just gone. And then he said like nipples, and the nipples are gone. And then like they're just having fun. It's so funny. And then Jiburo is like, well, if we're gonna be on a beach, how about bikinis? And then they go on. Then they have bikinis, and then Sora is like has a scene like, no, why would you have bikinis? Just hiding the good parts. And then he says that He says whatever it says because at the same time, if you say a word, if it already exists, it'll go away. So I think he said threads. So all the bikinis are gone.
Oh, that's right.
I think so. I think that's how it's been a while, but yeah, that's how it works, and it's so funny, and it's like, and it's just sequence because okay, there's an ecchi tag in it as well, and as most of you watching this, listening to this know of the ecchi tags, ecchi means pervert.
Yes.
So naturally, there's scenes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, as there might be. So it's really funny, but at the same time, it's all just a distraction as he's setting up his win.
Right.
And it's funny because, okay, so the way they win, spoiler alert, hey, listen, just watch the show, man. It's so great.
How many episodes is it?
It's 12 episodes.
12 episodes.
That's what I'm saying. See, my flow chart, Zach, my Google Docs, my Excel sheet. They're shows that aren't
Your
long.
Microsoft Office.
My Microsoft Office 365 subscription, Zach. They're simple. They're very quick shows, other than Your Lie in April. But Your Lie in April wasn't in it. It wasn't in the flow chart. Sorry, Zach.
Yes, I know. I'm very aware.
But the ones that are in it, they're like 12 episodes. So you have no reason not to do it. You can just binge it if you really wanted to, or just block it into 3 episodes. It's not like The Walking Dead. Just like 7 or so seasons of just hour-long episodes. I don't know if they're hour-long, but isn't Game of Thrones like hour-long episodes?
I don't know, dude.
Some Western shows are like hour-long, and I'm like, you binged that? Really? Dude, I can barely sit here and watch a 23-minute episode of anime, dude. What the hell? But yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's not that hard, but it's a good watch as well. So
yeah.
Just as I've gotten to Zach, the flow chart is Erased, then No Game No Life, then it's actually Bunny Girl Senpai, which we will watch soon. But that's a tangent. Sorry, going off topic. But the way
anywho,
but it's cool. It's so interesting because all of the fun stuff that they're saying, like monster and like just things or whatever, just random stuff. Jibito thinks they're just playing around, just having a go, But in reality, the way she says it is so perfect. It's like the game ended as soon as it started. As soon as Sora said the first thing, hydrogen bomb, the game ended because hydrogen bomb was what he needed to know that Jibito doesn't know anything about, like that type of stuff, like what's the word? Worldly stuff, like
right,
how a hydrogen bomb works, because that's how their world stuff works, right? So
right.
He uses that idea to say, okay, she probably doesn't know how the world works, how the earth is combined. So he starts saying, because like I said, if you say something that exists, it disappears. So he starts saying like lithosphere,
right, yeah,
right, and that type of stuff, and breaking down everything, like the mantle and all that. That's so cool. Like he's just one by one breaking down each of the layers of the earth. Lithosphere, mantle. Sorry, I don't remember the rest of them. I apologize. I took a geology class and got an F on it. Actually, I got a D, so I passed. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
But, but it's so cool, and just how it works. And because of that information, it's so funny to see. Just like, wow, at that very moment, the first move, she already lost.
Right. Yeah, and it's really cool to think. A lot of the games were like that.
Yeah.
If not all of the games were like that. Because that was kind of going back to what we were talking about before, about how you can not be as strong as somebody, but if you're able to like be smart about it and think ahead, you could win the game before it starts. Like all of the games, like, like you were saying.
Yeah, because she can literally use magic.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And he doesn't have magic. I mean, he's saying stuff and it's appearing in midair, but that's the magic that she has that's creating it to happen,
Right.
So it's crazy because she is, I forget what tier her nation is. But it's a high one if I remember correctly. Like in the upper like top 10s if I maybe even top 5 of the nations or something like that. But
I don't remember.
But humanity is at the very end and he still beat her, you know? And as we talk in the movie, Jibito is actually a crazy motherfucker.
Well, she's a
crazy motherfucker. And we'll talk about that when we talk about the movie. I think we'll get into the movie pretty soon. Actually, maybe we should talk about the movie.
Let's talk about the movie.
Let's talk about the movie at this point.
Okay.
So yeah, honestly, all this point, I just wanted to introduce Jibito because she's very pivotal in the movie.
Right.
If I do say so myself. So the movie is interesting because, would you like to say anything about it?
Okay, so basically, hang on. I'm trying to see if I can.
I don't know if you can. Oh,
no.
The mic.
I was going to do something funny,
okay.
But it's not going to work. So basically the movie is go watch the movie if you haven't watched it already.
Yes.
This is your warning to go watch the movie.
Yeah, we're going to
watch
go
the movie.
super spoiler mode because
Yeah.
I don't think we can talk about... Well, we can, but we really need that discussion detail. So this is going to be spoiler moments.
Yeah, so basically the movie is telling the story of how the world became what it was and how they were able to solve all of the world's problems with games and how they were able to turn this volatile, chaotic, war-ridden world into what it was in No Game, No Life.
Oh yeah, the
show.
show versus the movie is like a 180. It's like
Yeah.
the show, like we said, is like very vibrant and poppy and saturated and it's good times and some funny comedy and stuff. But the movie is dark and gruesome.
It's so dark.
It's so dark, and there's this is during like the war of all the nations that existed, right? Even some that don't even exist anymore. They're fighting. There's bloodshed. There's death. And that's something that they never had to worry about in the No Game No Life anime show because
Right.
everything's just decided by games. So it's interesting because everything is decided by games, but at a certain point, it wasn't. So how did it become that? Why did it become that?
right.
And that's what the movie is about. So it's very cool, very good watch, and it's very gruesome. It takes an entire flip side of what No Game No Life is and just shows how humanity, basically, like I said, was able to stay as one of the nations that survived the war.
right.
Why they're able to do that, why there are these laws that are set, why like this. It's like the real ground hitter of willpower and potential that they
Right.
had to do, and it's super cool. And so it's kind of funny because the main characters of the movie, No Game No Life Zero, is based off of the main characters of the anime, which is Shiro and so I forget their names. I know the girl is Shuvi,
Mhm.
and the boy's name is, oh gosh,
Look it up because I'm.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up.
While you're looking it up, I love how in the anime they turn the main character into the main characters into like invincible beings almost like you were saying, just like they were all overpowered, but in the movie
they're nothing.
yeah, they're nothing, and you get to see the emotional repercussions of their actions.
Dude, like, okay, so his name is Riku.
Riku.
There's death. I think that's just the biggest hammer to the nail part that you need to understand about the movie, because if you watch the anime and never watch the movie, there's no death. There's nothing even close to it. They're just playing,
Right.
They're playing games.
They're playing games.
They're playing date simulators.
We need to talk
They're
about
playing
the
date simulators, but the movie is like one of the first things he does, Riku, is command one of his people to die.
Right.
To sacrifice so that he can live another, so that he blames it on himself so that he can live another day. And it's so gruesome because I think in the beginning what happens is that you see Riku as like this asshole who's like some stuck-up guy or some stuck-up leader who is forcing these people to die. His
Right.
own people, his own humanity people to die. But at the same time, it's not really like that, because when Shubi gets so what Shubi is, she's basically like based off of the character of Shiro, except she is oh god, I forget what they're called, but they're like, it's like a hold on, did it say it here? Probably not. It's gonna be difficult to find, but she's like an ex machina.
That's right.
Yeah, she's an ex machina, so she's like a robot. Well, she's a robot, and she has like weapons and stuff to be in basically what happens is there's a cluster of them, like a bunch of them, and then they combine together to create like I don't know, fucking hyper beam type shit, Pokemon hyper beam type shit, right?
Right. Yeah.
But she breaks off of it because she wants to because she's curious about the heart, the human heart. Why
Right.
is it that humans are still alive in this terrible world where there's ash falling from the sky that literally burns their skin? So it's so nuts how the dynamic of like learning about the human heart, how she learns about it, how it works out, how she develops this emotion. And as you guys seen from robot films and stuff, like, no, I have no emotion or whatever.
I do not have
I
feelings.
do not have feelings, but
Yeah.
it's just cool because you see that character development, and then because of her, Riku gets a development, and I remember in the first scenes that really hit me, like he was talking with Shuvi around the beginning when they first met, and he brought him back to the cave where the rest of humanity was,
Right.
or humanity. They didn't adorn the name humanity yet, I don't think. Not
No,
yet.
they did not.
They were just humans. And then he was super upset about it because And then, oh man, the scene where he was going through all the names of everybody who died. You know, that was like that hitter that was like, okay, he's not a bad guy because he feels so bad about it. He remembers every single one of their names. You know, every single one that died. And there was like, what did he say? It was like 70 or 80 of them. And he was like, how am I going, like, is it worth to save, or should I, or what is it? Like, is it worth it to save like 999,000 people in order to, or to kill off 99, what is it? To kill off 999,000 people to save like 1,000, right? Or something,
Right.
something along those lines. So you get that massive character development. You get to see how how Shubi, the presence of her, builds and how their relationship goes, and it's really cool because it's the same exact thing as the show, like the upbringing, the underdog, the potential that he gets, and this is where they adorn humanity after a certain while. So it's really cool, really crazy watch, and the production of it is nuts. It's so high quality, and man, I just, you know, there's certain circumstances that you guys have already probably aware of why No Game No Life will never get a second season, unfortunately, because of copyright issues. Fuck that shit. That's why you all know how I feel about DMCA and all that type of stuff and copyright. But if you watch my streams, you know how I feel about that. But anyways, that's Twitch TV, by the way.
Twitch.tv/Anuki.
Anuki /Peanut.
I'm not Peanut
Zap
anymore.
PNW. No,
But when
I talk so long. You can go.
Oh no, you're good. I wanted you to just complete an entire thought because I knew that you were on a roll and I didn't want to stop you in the middle. But it's really cool to see two sides of the same coin because you get to see the development of what they used to be, and then you get to see living life where they are now. And it's crazy to think that that's the same world, you know? Like it's really crazy to think that all of that war and destruction and just devastation turned into the beautiful world that it became during the show.
Yeah, I mean the show is just this bright red and pink, but in the movie it's like this dark red. No, I think the term is noir or whatever, but it's like blacks and purple, and it's very gruesome. It's like the Nether.
It's very
in Minecraft. But it is. It's that darkness.
It's very cold.
It is very cold.
Like when we were talking about the color palette in the show in the very beginning, we were talking about how it was very warm and comforting, and then you talk about just the ambiance of the movie, and it is just very cold and dark. And
it really is
uncomfortable. Like it almost makes you uncomfortable even just like being there. Just like holy shit.
Because we just came from watching the show of it being the opposite.
Yeah,
of being super happy. It's a comedy. It's funny. And
this is so great.
This is so great. Oh my god! But it wasn't. It wasn't. Once upon a time ago, it wasn't. And my favorite thing, and I know most people didn't catch this, but I caught it, Zach, was at the very end of the movie, the very end, the way it closed, when finally they obtained, I forget what the thing was called that they had to get, like the sun guy, something like that, some sort of artifact that they had to get, and once you obtained it, you were the ruler of the world.
Right. And
you would only obtain it if the only way to obtain it is to have this certain amount of power in one concentrated area, and that's what basically the whole game plan was that they had in towards the climax of the movie. So once they obtained it, or he didn't obtain it, but you watch the movie, so you obtained it. You see the world change. The darkness turns into the red, vibrant, and you see this like the shock wave of just change, and everything turns colorful back to the world that we're familiar with. And the thing that people didn't catch is that the entire time in the movie, the line art was black.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it was. I think so. I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since we watched it, but I believe so. The line art was black the entire time as a traditional anime, but in the anime, in the show, No Game No Life, you're so accustomed, you're so used to this redness, the red line art,
right?
That art choice that choice that they said that they did, the art choice that they made. I'm sorry, bro. I noticed that little thing. It's just a change in line art, but it changed so much because you're so used and so accustomed to this red, vibrant, punchy artwork and line art, and it's because of that red line art that changes it.
Right.
And when you watch the entire movie, you don't notice that it's all in black. It's back to black, even though that's how normal animes are. You're not used to that from watching No Game No Life. You're used to the vibrant colors. So now, along with the dark reds and the dark blacks, there's black line art. And once the world re-changes, everything's all pink and fairylandy.
And
Fairylandy. The line art changes back to red, and that adds like an extra, a subconscious boost in emotion.
Yeah, and that just kind of gives you that sigh of relief, like, whew, okay, everything's back to normal. Everything's back to how it should be.
How it should be, but also better.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
like a key change in a song.
Oh,
You know?
yeah. I just thought of something and I don't know how to explain it. So in the very, very end of the movie, when Jibril, when she had the little amulet, the little stone that had
so the Jiburo didn't have it. Stephanie had it.
Stephanie had it.
Stephanie, yeah.
That's right.
We didn't introduce Stephanie, but she was the previous queen of humanity until Sora and Shiro came in. And she also reimagined into the beginning, or into No Game No Life 0 as, oh gosh, what was her name? Kurone, or who ended up being the queen, the very first ruler of humanity, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that stone that she had, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was they used that to engrave their names together when Riku and Shubi, the main characters of the movie, got married, and then they engraved their names on it, as well as Korone did it as well.
Yeah.
And it was Dola. Dola was the last name, so it's kind of cool because in the anime her name was Stephanie Dola, and it's super cool to think about, like, wow, that was the originators, the original humanity rulers. And you think, because the preface of the movie is that the god of games is just telling a story to some kid,
right?
Well, the kid of which is the priestess of the beast, but basically to a kid, right? And they're just telling a story while they're playing a game, but it's real life because, like, it's kind of funny because it seems just like a story. It's this fictional made up story that he's just telling to a kid. But that amulet that Stephanie pulls out and just notices that there's marks on it, right? It just kind of sets the stone of, like, oh man, that was real. That really did happen. So it was kind of like oh man, how many times have I said there's a final hammer to the nail?
So many
nails. How many nails are there on this board? But it was literally the final hammer to the nail of completion, of closure.
Yeah, it was that moment when you realized, like, that was the whole story. And like we were saying before, talking about how giving reality to a fictional world, like, they gave you just this whole story, this brutal story about all of the war and violence and all of that kind of stuff, and how that changed. And then it just jumps forward to our main characters from the show just kind of hanging out, chilling out, having a good time. And then, they are just like, whose names are those?
Yeah.
But, like, who those people are, because
you
watch them engrave into that little amulet their names and all of that kind of stuff. It was just really cool.
It is cool. Watch the movie and the show.
Yeah, watch the show first and then the movie.
This is just advertisement.
No,
Yes, because we have that type of influence.
Totally.
But no, it is crazy. Everything about it, from the artwork to the music to the voice acting to the production to the sound design, even, everything is just so perfect.
Yeah,
and it is one of the highest ranked shows, highest ranked shows in My Anime List. And if you guys know My Anime List, basically, like, it's like an 8.18, which, Zach, you might think, okay, well, that's not that high. But most shows in this website the people rate these so critically. Like, most shows are like 5 to 6.
Oh.
Or lower. A good average show, or a good show, would be like 7.
Oh.
So when it's 8 or 9, it's a good one.
It's a banger.
It's a banger, and it is a banger. So
it is a banger.
It really is. So watch it. It's a lot of fun. Oh, man, do you want to talk about the dating sim?
Yes.
The ending. So the very ending of the anime. Bro, I laughed so fucking hard.
Okay.
Dude,
I remember
it's funny because it's like, it was this massively monumental, like, okay, the humanity just declared war. They're going to go into battle. They're going to go into this thing that nobody knows about because it's a game where the beast people, if you lose, the beast people will clear your memory and stuff. So it's this massively built up hype. And you're like, whoa, this is going to be massive. And it's a dating simulator.
Dude, I remember when we watched that for the first time, I don't remember who was streaming it at the time, but I literally was like, we need to pause this and talk about this for a second.
We sat there and paused and talked about the fact that the final battle of the anime was a dating simulator.
That was so fucking funny because like it just was.
It was just the final and the hammer to the nail, Zach.
My god!
Of just like, don't take this show seriously. It's not that. We're having a good time.
Yeah, and it was so cool because that's another example of subverting your expectations because you expected it to be this epic battle, and then you see the intro roll in where it's like any stereotypical dating
poorly sung opening, no processing or anything,
and then they make it epic, dude.
They did though.
Like how did they manage to make
because it's no game no life, bro. They made that dating sim. Well, I mean, it wasn't just a dating sim, of course. It was kind of a first person shooter type thing.
Yeah,
so
like
it was kind of funny. But it was like a
thing.
PvP where they were fighting against that Beast King girl.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. But no, it was insane. It's such a good watch, and it's such a good. It was just so funny because it's like, oh, you thought it was gonna be an epic battle. I mean, it was, but you thought it was gonna be some crazy monumental, life changing. No, it's just a dating simulator.
It's a dating simulator.
It's so funny, and it brings you back into the reality of that. Oh, I'm watching No Game No Life. That's right.
Yeah, and
because before of the build up, I'm sorry, but the build up, like what Soda had to do to like when he was playing a game for his existence,
right?
Bro,
yeah.
that entire sequence, holy shit,
so good.
That's so
it was
nuts.
so good.
And Shiro didn't really know that because he didn't tell Shiro, and the whole sequence of it was so interesting.
Oh my gosh,
the glitching and it was so disorienting.
Yeah,
because it was so not No Game No Life. I remember rewatching it because for some reason I didn't really feel that when I was watching it by myself at the first time. But I think it was more because I watched it early game, and after knowing a lot more now, I kind of get this gut-wrenching feeling, and it's like there's like blackness, and there's glitches and stuff, and then Sora disappears, and Shiro loses her mind, and nobody knows that Sora existed.
Right?
And it's so scary, and it's like because it's a little cringe, of course, the idea that the brother and sister, but whatever, anime, fuck it, whatever. But their bond is so close, and we've seen like tons of jokes where whenever one of them is too far apart from each other, they freak out or whatever. But he's like that she does that a little bit, but as soon as Shiro realizes that like Stephanie and Jiburu, they don't even remember him, his existence is gone, then she's like, whoa. Because it's not because it's this crazy thing of just trust. Like he trusts her, Sora trusts Shiro to figure it out. And oh man, the whole thing is so unsettling.
I know.
Oh man, even the ending sequence, how it changed, where it was like glitching.
Yeah.
And because in the ending sequence, the ED, normally when it plays, it's her and him as kids, but every time him would pop up, it glitches it's like just Monica's, dude.
Oh my god,
it's so creepy.
Oh, dude, yeah, it was so unsettling, and you almost kind of have an expectation of how the episodes are gonna go, and then when, like, God, we are like broken records, subverting expectations.
I know, but it is, dude. Just watch the show. It's
just
so
watch
nuts.
the show.
It's so
yeah,
nuts.
and it's one of those shows where
look at this is his third anime. Look at him. We've been talking for an hour about it, man. This is a good show. It's
a great show.
Third anime ever, and I've gotten him to talk about it with me for an hour.
Yes.
Come on.
And I had something I was gonna say. Crap.
Sorry. I was too busy praising you.
Oh no, you're good. Crap.
How unsettling it was.
Oh, how and then I was talking about subverting expectations.
Yes. Broken records.
Broken record. But it
keeps you on your toes.
It keeps you on your toes, yeah. And that's just one of those situations where they find very, very creative ways to tell a pretty linear story.
Yeah.
And, they use like comedy, they use a lot of different storytelling elements to be able to make it so that it is an interesting story. And it's only 12 episodes.
It's 12 episodes.
12 episodes. That's literally nothing.
Yeah, you could watch 12 episodes in a day. So stop calling it a drawing.
Watch it.
Yes, all sorts of things. The storytelling, the bath scenes, those are pretty great too. You know, there's a big package. You know, in my opinion, it's one of the most fully anime stereotypical packages that's really good.
Yes,
because there's a lot of those that aren't really good, and people watch those and they're like, oh, this is probably what anime is, but it's not. It's like anime can be like this.
Yeah,
anime can be crazy. It can be thought provoking. And I don't know, I feel like some scholar, like, oh, swirl my wine around. Oh, anime, yes. Swirl the coffee cup. But it really is, because it's story. It's still
like nothing in you.
It's still storytelling.
Right.
Whatever medium it is, this just happens to be of anime. And who's to say this type of storytelling isn't like any other cartoon? It's just a different type of way to do a cartoon. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
The storytelling elements are still there.
Yeah, the storytelling elements are there, and they are used to just kind of bring you in, to get you interested in the story, and to kind of feel like you're along that journey with them. Yes. And that's the coolest thing, at least to me. It's like you feel like you're going on this random unhinged journey to go and fight the gods, you know?
Yeah, but at the same time, well, that's why I like slice of life anime. You're not very too familiar with it yet, but it's a tagline, which is basically like there's no plot line really. It's just you're just following a group of characters around their daily lives. That's it. And it's like, whether it be from school or some magical world or whatever, that's it. And I love those so much because I told you about K-On!, right? How like the super duper long, like it's just a bunch of girls, cute girls, just drinking tea in a club room and playing music. That's it. There's no end goal. There's no direct plot line. It's just they're just drinking tea in the club room and playing music, and they do performances every now and then. That's it. But you follow them for so long, and you get an attachment to all the characters, not just those girls, but to the other characters, the side characters, everybody. You get this. You follow them for like 20 plus episodes, Zach, for 2 seasons, so 40 plus episodes, I think it is. You follow them for so long, and you think, oh, Arthur, there's no end goal. It's so boring. But no, it's a show where you just turn your brain off, right? You turn your brain off. You don't need to focus too much. It's just a good time. You might have a time as one might, and you follow them for so long, and it's at that very end point where it's ending, and you're like, oh no, I don't want it to end.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want it to end. I'm so. These characters would be right here. I've been with them I've been with them on their journey of their school life. Once they joined high school to when they left high school, I've been in there the entire time, Zach. Right. And it's just so fun to watch. It's so like it's not even a sad anime, but I still cried so hard as if it was Your Lie in April. I was so heartbroken. I was like, it's ending. This journey that we went into, this storytelling madness of not even a storytelling, just character development, of character attachment, of character writing and character design, punchlines and script writing and music and everything that has to do with these fucking drawings that you make fun of me for liking. I cried to it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all it had to be. So, storytelling. That's what it boils down to. It's not just a drawing. It is a drawing, but it's a drawing tied with many other packages that is great. And how many times have I said that? 1 billion times. How many times I've said it in this podcast? It's in this episode 1 million times. But I'll keep saying it again until you guys understand that.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why I'm wearing anime shirts and I have anime figures around. I mean, part of it is because I'm a weeb, but but another part of it is because they mean a lot to me. I mean, that poster behind you is from K-On!, you know? It really means a lot to me. And sure, it's cringe, you know, just anime figure. Oh, you never need to get a girlfriend right there. Listen, right? I buy them because, I mean, why does anybody buy collective items? Right? Collect what's the term? Collectibles, right? Why do people buy baseball cards? Why do people do that, right? It's just cardboard, it's just paper. Why are people into Pokemon cards right now? Right? It's just that set. Well, I mean, some people is for the kind of gambling aspect and selling it, but you know what I mean. For people that collect this stuff, right? Why do they have it, even though there might not even be any monetary value, or it might be cringe? Because this figure is so cringe, but this figure has a meaning, a symbolic. It's It's a physical representation of a journey that I went through.
Right. Yeah. And another thing too is that, you know, the way that you respond to anything in your life is going to be entirely different from the way that somebody else would respond to the same type of situation. And so, you know, especially like, you know, when you think about shows like, even the shows that we've watched, like at the end of the movie, No Game, No Life, the movie, I cried. You cried. We both cried.
cried.
It was just like, it wasn't like a painful, like sadness cry. It was just like, I'm so relieved that we don't have to watch all of this pain and suffering anymore, or like, you know,
I'm so relieved that a resolution come to an hour and a half long of misery and tragedy and despair and heartbreak.
Right.
You know,
yeah. And
a resolution came.
Yeah, and that's just a movie. And then, you know, you talk about shows like Erased, where it's like, I am so glad that we got to the point to where he did it. He accomplished the goal that he was trying to achieve. And, you know, there's that sigh of relief, or, you know, sadness.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the different types of emotional reactions that you have to anything that you see throughout your life, you know, that's yours and yours alone. And so, you know, it's been very interesting to go along on a journey with you to just kind of experience those things myself and go through those journeys and all of that kind of stuff. It's been really, really interesting. And, you know, I'm glad that I get to sit here and talk about it and fucking freak out about storytelling and music.
Yes, and anime titties.
No.
Yes. No, that'll come. That'll come. Don't worry. But no, but in all seriousness, no, I'm glad because it makes me happy because this is my favorite thing in the world.
Right.
It is. So, you know, when you have, whether it be your favorite thing in the world or just something you like, whenever you have someone else that likes it, whether as much or just likes it, you know, it's a great feeling. So I thank you so much for not only watching it with me, but freaking out over it with me and having a podcast about it with me.
Of course.
So yeah.
And thank you so much for watching.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Segues. Yes. The viewers.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed.
Hey man, there's more to come.
Yeah, I love it. It's really nice to be able to pick your brain about stuff and just kind of talk about shit. And thank you guys for hanging out with us and going on this random unhinged adventure with us. And you know, if you guys like this type of stuff, if you guys like listening to us babble on about random shit, go ahead and leave a like and a comment down below. And also we have a coffee.
Yeah, coffee, Ko-fi. Still haven't figured it out.
I don't know. We have a link if you guys want to contribute
To directly support us.
Yeah,
right?
it would directly support us, and it would help us renovate the set, do whatever we need to do behind the scenes to be able to keep this thing rocking and rolling. But of course, it's optional.
It's optional. You don't have to do. But if you'd like to directly support us, that'd be an option as well.
Yeah.
But hey, thanks for another good episode, another good talk. Hopefully, it's not hey, we didn't talk about music that much this time.
Yep, but next time
we're gonna talk about a lot of music. So, hey, if you need a podcast to fall asleep to,
no, just go watch the second.
Just go watch the second episode where we just talk about music theory. You'll fall asleep in an instant.
Yes. Who needs melatonin, right?
Yeah.
But
exactly.
anyways, like, subscribe, and all that stuff, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Yes.
Peace.